Hey everyone, welcome to Hoard of Tales. Today we'll be playing a game called Brindlewood Bay, written by Jason Cordova and part of the Gauntlet Publishing. And I'm Shweta. I hate introductions, so I don't know what I'm doing right now. So let's take it to someone else. Someone else, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jilly. You can find me most places on the internet at Oh Look It's Jilly. Jilly is spelled with a G. And I am really excited to play this game. I've been wanting to for a really long time. I guess I'll save promos for the end. But should I introduce my character now, or are we going to do that?
No, we'll do that in game, but you can just tell us who's next.
Okay.
Who's the next
I randomly select Briar to go next.
I don't feel like that was random. Just kidding. Hello. Hi, I'm Briar. You can find me in most places. It's me, Briar, or it's me, Briar TV, because, you know, TikTok, Instagram, like somewhere's got to be difficult in the username game. But yeah, they, them pronouns, and I stream here on Twitch. And without getting too promo-y, it's Bernadette's turn.
Hi, I'm Bernadette or B. This is my first time doing a streaming thing or trying Brindlewood Bay. I've only ever played like 5e. Really excited, really fun game. I'm on Twitter and a few other things. It's usually just speak on 8 or 5. Yeah.
Okay, thank you everyone for actually doing a very good job at introducing yourself. So let's start off with our mystery. So before, just as a background, before we have started the stream, everybody got to make their character sheets and give each other cozy items, which we'll find out what they are in a bit. And so we're pretty much ready with all of that. So we'll just jump into the mystery. So our mystery today is called Dad Overboard, and it's complexity level 6. Our characters are playing these really old people who are part of a book club, and they're very nosy, they're very meddly, so they actually help solve murder mysteries in this town called Brindlewood Bay. So in this place, Brindlewood Bay, you are all sitting together, your group, in the candlelight booksellers, building, and you're talking to each other about the latest book that you read. What I'd like now is for Jilly, please introduce your character. You can tell us what they look like, what she looks like, what her name is, all of that stuff.
Okay. Today I am playing Muriel Mathers, who is a retired librarian in her probably mid to late 70s. She is a big fan of cozy cardigans. Aren't we all, really? And she is very, very invested in books, obviously, given her career, and has a special fondness for mysteries because she likes trying to outsmart the authors. In particular, I should say her mortal enemy is Carol, who took over the library after her retirement. I think that the exact quote I put in her bio was, "Bless her heart." So, as well as thwarting Carol's various schemes, she likes hanging out with her book club. She collects hummingbird figurines and books, and is generally living a very cozy life.
Next, Briar, can you introduce your character?
Yeah, so Opal is about 70. They use they, them pronouns. Basically, they are gay sass constantly wrapped in a cardigan. They love gardening. They're huge fans of like all of the supernatural mystery shows and stuff. Big X-Files fan. They're basically me but old. basically X-Files fan, Supernatural fan. They see themselves as a mix of Dean Winchester, the Doctor, Mulder, and Scully, just all rolled into one. Like, they think very highly of themselves. And yeah, they enjoy gardening. Their plants are their babies. And yeah, they think they're just a mystery solving expert.
I should also add the Muriel's pronouns are she, her, which I keep putting in the title of the bio that I read and not the text, so I keep skipping over it. But her pronouns are she, her.
And finally, Bernadette.
I'm playing Bria Monaghan. She is a early 80-something year woman. Her pronouns are she or her. She has like long, like white hair that's tied in a braid with like purple ribbons and flowers. She likes purple flowery sort of tosses. What can you say? And like she's very like hippie-ish. She has like she is not a smart person. She's happy. She does vibe. She just likes being there. She loves little mysteries just because they're just so fun to enjoy. You know, she just likes being there. Just
Happy to be included.
Yeah, it's just literally what I was thinking.
So I will ask this question to Muriel. As the camera pans around the loft where you hold your Murder Mavens meetings, what do we see that shows you how you have personalized the space, especially with Carol looming over you at all times?
Yes, Carol's very presence permeates my life. I think that in order to make this like very homey and this group to feel like as much like a family as possible, I think Muriel has made some sort of dessert snack and has brought that. So there's like I think a small spread of like muffins, probably of some description, and it includes everyone's favorite type of muffin. So if there's someone who specifically doesn't like muffins, Muriel has found a recipe to like make the muffins not taste like muffins. Are they muffins? Are they pancakes? Who can say? So perhaps the snacks get weird. And I think also Muriel has created kind of customized bookmarks for everybody that have, you know how people put like outlines of their dogs on sweatshirts? I think it's like our outlines, but just very vaguely. And it's just a bookmark that has not pictures of us, but just outlines of like 4 people on it.
Each of the people, yeah. Is Carol included in the outline?
No, absolutely not.
Why are there 4 people?
I think it, oh, you know what it is? I think it's our favorite author is included. In the... Carol is not welcome on the bookmark.
So you all are sitting by this bookseller, and you're having a pleasant time. You're discussing the latest mystery, and there's no rush to go anywhere. It's raining outside. It's like like 10 or 11 in the morning. Tea is being served from time to time, so you're pretty comfortable there. And as you are sitting and discussing it, the books that you read, someone comes in, dressed in police uniform. You see Sheriff Wyman Dalrymple, who walks in and clears his throat a bit to get everyone's attention. And once he has your attention, he walks straight up to your group as you're sitting cozy in this upper, room of the booksellers. And he just without any sort of he just gives a slight nod and he starts his spiel. And He says, okay, so believe me, no one is more frustrated about having to ask for help from a bunch of old biddies than I am. But it is needed. I understand that.
That's how you ask us for help.
Yes, because I understand that in the
a
past
very nice man.
I have discouraged you from meddling into our business, but today I need your help. And he
Opal just looks at their two friends like, you hear this guy?
Perhaps if you're going to ask for help, start by coming up with a more solicitous term than old biddies.
Old biddies. I never.
Always use your manners. I've
I'm
heard of please
sorry,
or thank you.
well,
I
please.
swear, generations these days, they don't know what to...
And like you see this like big like a red spot on both of his cheeks, like he's very embarrassed right now, and you see him like stuttering over his words, unable to choose the right words, and like feeling very low confidence right now. And he says, all right, I came in strong, but that's because I had something. What I am asking of you, I need your help. I need your help.
Okay.
With something
What's the magic
specific or
word?
just
What?
generally in life?
He looks down at himself. No, this is for a case.
Okay, but what's the magic word? What do we say to people when we want to help them?
He just sort of looks at you like, and you see like a vein popping on his forehead.
Oh no.
I need your help, please.
See, that wasn't very hard.
That well, that was a matter of perspective. I need your help, please, with a case. Do you know who the Krauses are? And maybe one of you do. That's totally.
Sure, I know them. They are.
Are they the wee fella down the road with the wee woman and the wee woman and the wee woman's the wee woman daughter?
It's not overly specific, but I'm gonna assume yes.
Ah, what nice young people.
Well, the Krauses are very important people, and they've done a lot for the town. They don't really live here, they live in Boston. And they came here for a little vacation. They took out their yacht and went to do what rich people do on yachts. And we found out that in the night, when everyone was asleep, that the father, Albert Kraus, killed himself. People suspect that he just went overboard. He drank a little too much, but I'm a little suspicious about the circumstances. It's an
You
open and shut
suspect
case.
foul play.
Yeah. Nobody really wants to take a look at it without any evidence to prove that it is foul play. That's why I need your help, because I want to find any sort of evidence that says this is foul play. That's it. You don't have to solve the mystery. You don't have to find the killer. You don't have to apprehend them. All you have to do is find one piece of evidence for me that this is foul play.
Oh, you can see the fire that's now burning in Opal's belly in their eyes. They are ready to solve this mystery and to apprehend the suspect.
Freya just
I
looked
think-
off in his face. I'm going to be late for dinner tonight.
Muriel just taps the sheriff on the cheek gently and says, "Oh dear, don't you worry. We'll take care of it.
No, I don't think any of you heard me right
It's
now.
fine. Don't worry."
Do not try to
Opal's like getting a conspiracy board ready with like yarn and post-its, and
Would you like to borrow some coloring pencils, Opal?
they're taping an X onto the window pane, you know.
Oh yes, coloring pencils would be very good. I have some
Yes.
highlighters.
Oh, yes.
Post-it notes. We'll need many post-it notes. Case
I
file.
have
do you need the
plenty.
case
What
file?
colors do you want? What color themes we
Oh.
going for?
You are not police officers. You don't need any of these things unless you're doing a craft project.
I'm sorry.
We do need the case file if we're gonna have any hope of helping you.
Case file. Obviously, I will not share that with non-police.
Well, then what's the point of bringing us in?
You can go inspect the body. Maybe something will... Because this is an open and shut case in other people's eyes, the body needs to be buried and soon. Their family, Albert's family, is waiting for his body to come home so that they can give him a proper funeral.
So the police
So-
want 3 random old ladies to go to a crime scene and look at a body.
You know
Okay.
you're not
when-
random.
When and how do we use our moves?
So you can sort of, at this point, what do you want to do actually? Like if you wanted to do
Well, he won't give us the case file, but I'm thinking I could potentially use the Fox Mulder move for a deep throat to give me the case file instead.
So can you describe the Fox Mulder move?
So this is someone connected to the dark conspiracy is helping you behind the scenes. Tell the keeper that the thresholds for each layer of the dark conspiracy are reduced by 1 void clue. Oh, okay. So I assume that there's something that cues a void clue or something of that effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to try to just like forget the move and everything, if you just want to talk him into giving you the case file or showing the case file to you, you can do that.
Okay. Well, you know, if you're not going to part with the case file, how about just a copy of it then?
Can you make a presence roll? So that is 2d6.
Oh no,
And add your presence modifier.
I don't have a modifier.
I have no modifier for presence. Also, we're bad
Could I
at that.
argue for reason? Since it's only logical that we need all of the evidence available in order to solve this mystery.
Actually, you're trying to convince him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Freya's
why
going to
I
make
said-
him a wee hot whiskey to make him more agreeable.
Yeah, like sort of calm him. Like basically, you can do presence or composure, one of the two.
Or composure. Okay, I'll go for composure then.
Mhm.
And so I add the 2 dice and
Yes,
the
you add the
modifier.
die and the modifier.
That's a 10.
So with
There
a
you
10, that's actually a success. And with a 10, he sort of relents his size a bit and he opens up his briefcase and you can take a look at it for now. I obviously need to take it back.
Excellent. And
Of course.
if he's not holding on to it too tightly, they're going to just take it to a nearby table and just start skimming and copying down as many notes as they can.
Okay, can you, I'll say that takes a little bit of time.
Okay.
And I would say that you're trying to find clues, right, while you're going.
Right.
So you can do the meddling move.
Ooh.
Which is when you search for a clue, conduct research, or otherwise try to gather information. You have to describe how you're doing it and roll with an appropriate ability. So you decide the ability.
Okay, yeah. So basically they're looking for, like, if there are witness statements in there, they're looking for like incongruencies in how they match up. Like if anyone is saying something, if they're too close together, or if anyone is saying something that's just completely different from what everyone else is saying. or if there's something that looks weird in any kind of crime scene photos, like signs of a struggle, anything like that that points to not necessarily even that thing by itself, but in combination with those other things, if they make a suspicious picture.
Can you...
And just jotting those things down, like, oh, we should check this out when we go over to the scene, kind of deal.
Can you roll reason? So the same thing again, 2d6 plus your modifier.
Whoa, that's an 11.
Hey!
Doing good so far. I'm coming in hot.
As you're going through the file, you look at the first page. It talks about, it gives the details of his death, fell overboard around this time, and so on and so forth. And you go through some more pages where they're like writing this testimony of these different people, like someone who worked there or one member of their family. And you see another mention about Albert's death, the time of Albert's death, but it doesn't match up with what was there in the first page that you saw. If it says, 2 a.m. on the first page, then it says around 4 a.m. or something like that on that page, which makes it a little odd because 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. look completely different. Like there is light and all that outside at 4 a.m. So that is one detail that you see. And apart from that, I will say, because you're going through this case note, a lot of the details that, like the things that you're seeing, it feels more along the lines of somebody, like how the sheriff said when he came in, that they've gathered clues and it just looks like someone fell overboard. And all the clues that they have point to that. Nothing seems to point to anything strange other than that. But you do also see piles of receipts for like extravagant purchases, like a white zebra statue, or like a tall phone booth or something like that. Those kind of purchases are like crazy, stupid purchases that rich people make with their money, and that's what you see.
Okay, so the biggest thing is the time of death discrepancy.
Yeah.
And the first mention of it, is that like an official document, like that the coroner was like, this must have been when they died, and then the other one is a witness statement?
So it's, the first page is not the coroner, it's more the sheriff writing it down, the person who like registered the case, and the other is the coroner.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, whenever I'm done getting whatever information I can out of it, I'll give him back the case note, and I'll also pull just like a little Werther's out of my pocket and put that on top and be like, maybe this will sweeten your attitude a little bit.
And while you're doing that, Brea, what are you doing?
What was the name of the policeman again?
Sheriff Wyman Dalrymple.
Oh, Sheriff, come here, sit down, rest your legs. You work very hard, young man. Sit down. Come on, make yourself cozy. Have a wee drink.
He comes over, like glaring at Opal. He wants the case files back and kind of nervous what they're doing.
Oh, don't worry about Opal. She'll do her thing. It's fine. Come on, sit down. Let's have a wee chat. You wouldn't refuse an old lady, would you?
He looks very guilty, and he's like, no.
Come on, sit down, make yourself comfortable. I slide the hot whiskey over to him.
So he takes it gratefully and he nods at you.
Please tell me about yourself. How did you get into Visa? Do you know the family? I want to hear all about it.
Well, I mean, the Krauses have done a lot for this community, and the police station. They've funded quite a few police galas and helped raise money for us. So naturally, we want to help them any way that we can.
Of course. And what do you think of the family? This is just an old woman making conversation.
They seem all right.
You seem a bit hesitant there. What do you mean, all right?
Each of them are weird. At this point, I'll ask you one question that you can answer as Brea. you've actually met one of the Krauss children several years ago. What were the circumstances around that meeting?
I'd say it was probably in relation to her, I guess, Benny, something like that. Maybe he worked in Benny for a bit, and she probably just, I'd say she probably, like, probably was working with Benny for something. She came over just making him feel comfortable, you know, just talking away while whatever business transaction they're doing or anything like that. But she won't remember.
So, like, he sort of says, I mean, the sheriff says, yeah, I mean, each of them has their quirks, they're a little weird.
Perks, you say? What do you mean? I think I met one of the wee lads a few years ago. Can't really remember. They seemed very nice.
Whom did you meet? The elder son, that's David.
It might have been a David. I think it might have been a David, yes.
Oh, I mean, if you met him, I'm sorry.
Oh, he seemed like a nice young man.
Didn't seem that way to us. He was in quite a bit of hurry to get back to Boston.
You know, Boston's a lovely city, you know. You know, people are very busy these days.
I mean, yes. I guess.
Would you like some tea?
He takes the tea that you offer, puts his whiskey down. He's like, yes, thank you.
Or we could combine the two, and I think Muriel will pass over the tea, and kind of like nod towards it.
Oh, yes. And I guess Bria will make it, I guess. Is she trying to hide this? Yeah.
You don't want to dump whiskey into the tea?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I did just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
It's my own special bond.
So as you're doing that, he sort of looks a little nervously around and looks a bit guilty. I think what you can do next is go to the fishmonger, Etienne Beauregard.
Fishmonger? What's the fishmonger's name again?
Etienne.
Etienne. Ah, yes, Etienne.
He said that he was going to get some extra special trout for me for next week's Friday dinner. You know, I like to have...
Oh, yes, with a wee little sprinkle on it.
Yeah. It's, you know, it can be hard to get things, but Etienne's a sweet boy, really.
I wouldn't get anything from the fish market right now, seeing as they're housing Albert Krauss's body in one of the cold storage.
That doesn't seem very hygienic.
We're in Boston, right? Do we not have a coroner's office?
No, y'all aren't in Boston. Y'all are like in a smaller town.
Oh, okay.
Like a very small coastal town, yeah.
All right.
So he sort of, so that's the best, like gets very defensive to both of you. And says, that's the best I could do at this point. I mean, I tried to convince, I know I'm the sheriff, but I mean, even I have limits to my power.
Of course.
Understood. You work very hard, sir, you know. People don't appreciate the policing in this community.
I certainly don't. But that's a separate issue. Have some more tea.
Yes!
He sort of drinks it and looks nervous.
Have a set of your nerves. You seem very anxious.
Yeah, I mean, the Krauses are leaning on me very hard to get the body back.
The amount of pressure they put on young people these days, it's absolutely terrible.
I mean, you say like young people, he like looks a little like sideways at you because he is maybe like solidly 50 or so.
He's young to her.
But he just sort of grins and like goes back to drinking the whiskey.
You know, I remember when you were knee-high to a caterpillar and you would come into the library and you would check out those books about, what was it, cowboys? The Western. The Western. And you also liked the books about bugs. I also remember the bugs. You liked the bugs.
Yes.
Do you still like bugs?
In a book, sure.
Folks are wonderful creatures.
So
Sorry?
if he fell overboard, he must have been taken out of the water pretty quickly. To, not have the body sink or get carried away by a current or...
Naturally, there were people around to see him fall, but nobody could reach him in time to rescue him.
Interesting. And I noticed that the time of death is different in 2 different places in your folder here. Who was it that told you this hopefully incorrect time that you have written down on the first sheet?
That's the coroner's report.
I thought the first sheet was the one that he wrote down. No,
the second one, yeah.
Then whichever one he, got from like a witness statement.
He says, this time, we got it from his daughter, Emily Krause, who told us that he'd been wandering the deck early in the morning because she is sure that he was resting at night.
Interesting. Okay. The daughter might be someone we want to speak to.
What was the daughter's name again?
Emily Krause.
Wait, she's writing notes in a notebook. When she's talking to him and the rest, she's writing notes down. Sorry, I should have said that.
Yeah. I think Muriel is making a witness list of all the people who came into contact from. That's what she's doing from the folder, I think. Like she wants the list of people who had contact or could have conceivably been there.
Can you make like a reason roll?
Sure. Let's see where my character sheet went behind the thing. Okay, I have a +1 to reason. That's not bad. Okay, that's a 7. I'll take it.
You take the file from Opal and you start browsing for looking for anything about the victims, and at one point, as you're looking at the file, you're about to start on a page, the sheriff just sort of takes the file from your hand and says, this is enough, no more of this. But as you were going through the previous pages, you could see that a very quick mention of 2 people on the deck of the yacht having an argument. It says, one witness believes he's heard an argument between 2 people on the deck or something like that. But it's kind of it's not like any attention was brought to it. It's like a very quick note to say, okay, this also happened during that day.
Can I get the note of who the witness is who said that happened?
It just says witness statement. It doesn't really say the names of anybody, which is another reason it was like that vague. Okay. Yeah.
I want the witness statements real bad.
Yeah, so basically, at this point, he gets the file back and he nods at each of you and he says, I guess you can go to Etienne, the legal lady, which is the Krause family, has been taken back to Boston.
Who's been taken back to Boston?
The yacht.
Oh, the yacht. Okay.
Oh, the yacht. Okay. Okay, well, we should go look at the body, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, we have to do that, yes. Sorry.
Well, I think afterwards, we're probably, I don't know if you're all agreeable to this, but I do think we should talk to everyone who was on board. Or at least as many as we can. But let's start with the hard evidence. That's what Amanda would do.
Okay, are you invoking the move?
No, I'm just name checking her. I'm not using up her move.
Oh. So as
That's
you
what she
all
would do.
get like you take a car and walk get to the fish market, and I would like to ask Muriel, what do
Mhm.
you see that reminds you why you love the fish market, or what about this place makes you hate coming down here? One of the two.
I think Muriel does not like the smell. But I think that she considers herself a woman of the world, and so she perseveres through like uncomfortable situations. And so I think you see her kind of sniff and go, but then she just keeps walking. And I think that all that you really see is like occasionally she will hold a delicate like handkerchief to her nose.
Yeah, Opal's doing this number of her cardigan.
Bria's not. Bria's taking like, nature.
So as you are all walking, so you enter this fish market. It's actually there's as you are entering the area, you see that big building that is Etienne Beauregard's shop. Um, it is the only substantial sort of shop here. The other people have like very small shops or like sheds that they've temporarily built, or stalls or something like that. Everybody has like small storage units for this, like a limited number of fish there. One person is maybe only selling cod, another person is maybe only selling salmon, and like compared to Etienne, everybody else is sort of like at a lower scale. And you see a young boy just helping some people out by getting the fish out of the storage in Etienne's shop and giving it to them. Seems like he works there. So what do you all do?
So, is it, what is that? Was that the dock? What's going on?
It's like this is just completely this part of the dock is just the fish market, where there are some sheds temporarily built or stalls, or some shops, or very informal sort of places that are selling fish. But Etienne Beauregard's shop is very prominent, and it's big, and it's very permanently there, so it looks like he does most of the business, and then the others are sort of at a lower level compared to his business.
There's so many places here. I wonder, where do we go?
Oh, it's that one. That one is usually. Yes. No, it's it's a confusing place, and it all smells the same. So I understand the
It's a
confusion.
lovely fresh coastal smell, though. I don't see what people complain about it.
Delightful indeed. And Muriel will kind of edge her way over to Etienne's store, or where she believes that she will find Etienne.
So it's not difficult to find him. You sort of walk into the store, and there he is. And he nods at you as you enter, and then notes Opal entering, and then Freya entering. And looking for something special?
Of a kind. We're actually looking for, and I think Muriel does have the self-awareness to use her like indoor librarian voice. So, we're looking for a dead body.
Yes, of course, right here. And he speaks to the younger man and says, "Take care of the shop. I'll be right back." And he takes you to the back room. He has like a large storage and some other units, but he goes to the one that's quite large and opens it and says, "There it is. I'm guessing Sheriff talked to you about his theory that this is not natural."
You have a lovely business.
Oh, yes, thank you.
No, wait, so he took us into the room with the body?
It's in an ice storage.
Yeah. So if we go in, I think the first thing Muriel says when she walks into this, like, very intentionally, clearly chilled room is, "Ooh, it's a bit cold in here."
Yes, I mean, I need to keep it this cold for the fish. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Just, you know, might help to warm it up a little more hospitable for people, you know.
Maybe not for dead people, though.
It reminded me of a time when I was interviewing someone during a winter storm. Clears the cobwebs, you know.
I think as soon as we see the body, I would like to try a meddling move and see if I can find a clue.
What exactly would you like to do?
I would like to inspect the body to see if there are... I want to look at the wounds to see if there are any clear signs of wounds that are not indicative of falling off a boat.
Can you make a reason roll?
Yeah, I sure can.
Would I be able to give her advantage by
I can say like the two of you are doing it together. So yes, you can roll 3 dice, take the 2 higher numbers, add them, and then add your reason modifier.
Okay.
Bria's gonna poke the body.
Right. We love to see it. Okay.
Very firm.
So that is an 11.
Heck yeah.
So as you're going through the body, you do not necessarily find any bruises on him, but inspecting the body thoroughly, your hand sort of like, you know, like how they do the search, like very quickly they just search you.
Yeah.
Something like that. You just pat around on the body, and you realize there's something in his pant leg, right at his calf, and it's like pretty. It's soggy, but you can feel something there. So you sort of reach your hand in and try to pull it out, and you realize what you like. You pull it out and you take a look at it. You know, up and down, and at this point you're able to see like these are like, it's not just one paper, but a group of thin papers that are kind of stuck together. And like when you try to pull one away, you realize they all look the same, and they all seem to look like stock certificates.
Seems our victim was an investor. And Muriel says this with the air of something that is very, very important for no particular reason.
And with 11, I'll tell you that you also find that his wristwatch is set to 4 a.m. It stopped at that point.
I will hold up the wristwatch and the papers and say, now, I believe that these are what is commonly referred to as clues.
It is a very nice watch.
Is there any way to like carefully peel apart the papers and try to see what stocks are written on it?
They're just like regular like industry stocks that Brindlewood Bay and Boston. Nothing. Go ahead.
Could like Bria look at it and see if like she can sense that they're like, but sorry, I should have mentioned just induction. Her cozy activities writing, and she was a reporter and she's retired. Look, she'd like see if there's any like, I don't know, maybe there's fakery or forgery of it or anything.
So it's very hard to make out the writing because of how soaked and you know how stuck together they are. It's a little hard to also pull them apart, but it generally seems like there's like it's printed rather than anything written down. Like even the signature is like a printed signature rather than a written signature.
They signed it in Adobe.
Someone does not appreciate good old-fashioned writing. All this technology is printing. Psh, what happened to a good old inkwell pen?
And sort of, as well as like Etienne has sort of left you all alone and standing by the door, kind of getting the warmth in, like keeping a little bit of the door open so that he can, go out, take some warmth, and come back in.
Okay. And there were no wounds that.
There were no wounds on the body.
Okay.
There was there was no signs of struggle or anything on the body. There was just a stock thing on the watch.
It's a pretty soaked up, like it looks a little blue, like he ran out of oxygen or something like that. It's not. It's like there aren't any wounds or something like that where someone hit them, but there are like some scratches or something, maybe because he came up against the yacht while he was going overboard or something.
Oh, okay. It's just fall injuries then.
Yeah.
Did they say he was drinking? Maybe we should ask for a toxicology report.
I was just thinking it would be good to find out what he had before he fell off the boat, because people are far more likely to fall off of boats when they've been poisoned or otherwise impaired.
Yeah. I feel like they're probably going to have to do toxicology up in Boston.
Yeah.
Didn't they say the family was in Boston?
Well, that's where the yacht's being taken, so I would assume.
Yeah, the family is in Boston.
And since in Brindlewood, would we know that maybe like this family, like they're known to be rich, right? Would we know if there's there's been any things in the past where they've run into trouble or anything like that?
So there, all of you would be aware about the Krauses, and they are like people who do a lot of charity. They are known as this rich family that does charity. They throw the police galas every year. They have parties, and they have helped like set up if Brindlewood Bay doesn't have like a children's ward, then they've helped set that up. So they're not known for any trouble, more like they're known for doing good things.
Would we've known if any of the children are in trouble? Like the policeman said he didn't like David or something, was it?
He said like David was very difficult to be around, basically.
So David's a jerk. What about Emily? Because Emily was the one that gave the wrong time of death.
Well,
maybe
I think we need to find out who they were arguing with on the... I mean, if we can find out who they were arguing with, who was arguing on the deck. Because it could... I do think you're right. We need to talk to Emily and find out if there was anything... Because it's my experience, having read many mystery novels, that rich people have a lot of enemies.
Enemies, constantly vying for power, even amongst each other.
They tend to do stuff that they're not really meant to. They
and rich children tend to be brats.
Well, this kind of money, and I think here she holds up the nice watch and the stocks, tends to cause disagreements.
Right.
Also, who carries stock around in their pant leg?
Yeah, that's very strange.
The fact that this person was doing that indicates to me that something is amiss.
Very true.
I think, are we done? Are we done with the body?
I think we're done with the body.
Leave this place.
Yes, it's very cold. It doesn't smell very good.
Yes.
Etienne sort of pays attention and he comes up and okay, so they want to send this body to Boston as soon as possible, but sheriff made me hold it here. Let me know if the sheriff changes his mind, I guess, then he, locks it again and starts heading towards the exit of the olive.
Thank you very much for all your help. And they'll put another little Werther's in the palm of his hand as they leave.
Rio will ruffle his hair. Good young man.
Okay, so what do you all do next? So basically, the sheriff told you to find any clue. You have done that to sort of say that there was foul play.
Yeah, but I don't think we're done yet.
Yeah, we're not done. We gotta go to Boston.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say that you go back home, to your individual homes for the night, and you wake up the next morning planning to go to Boston with your friends. How are you spending the night, Brea?
Brea, she's spending the night just sort of like, she's having dinner with Benny, her brother, who's been living with him to keep under wraps for some reason. He just wants to stay off the radar. She's just that. We family dinner. Probably thinking of sort of, wonder what Boston be like.
What about Opal?
Opal is tending to their plants, and they're talking about their day into their little... They're talking like half to the plants, half into their dictaphone. And they're gonna set aside, because they know they don't go, outside for long periods of time, and they know they might be stopping by a yacht tomorrow, so they're gonna clip some aloe vera leaves preemptively, just in case anyone gets sunburned, so that they can rub the aloe vera onto the sunburn and stuff. So they're getting that kind of stuff ready and just settling in for a night of binge watching X-Files.
And what about Muriel? We can't hear you. You're on mute.
I'm definitely muted. You are correct.
No.
So Muriel spends the night rereading some of her favorite mysteries to see, like, all of the ones that have something like sea related or boat related happen in them, to get ideas. And I think at several points throughout the night she ends up taking notes along the lines of secret twin ? Land shark ? And they probably get increasingly weirder as she goes further afield in her guesses.
That's good. So I'll say that you spend the night and then you plan to go to Boston. And I'll say the next morning after that is when you reach it, as in you travel for a day and you reach Boston. And yeah, where do you intend to go in Boston? There's the house, the Krause house, and the yacht. So where do you want to go?
Where do you think we should stop first?
I think we're gonna get the most information from the family.
Okay.
Let's go for a wee home visit to the... What's the name of the family?
Krause.
No.
Price family!
So you all sort of make your way to the home, and one of you, rings the doorbell, and you see this very, the door opens, and this man with gray hair, he's very well dressed, and looks at all of you, and you realize that this is like the butler, and he says, "Yes."
Oh, hello, you!
What?
I'm saying hello.
Oh, what do you need?
I'm Muriel. What's your name?
Andrew, what do you need?
Nice to meet you, Andrew. You seem lovely.
Do you have an appointment with any of the trousers?
Oh, not as such, but I think that they will want to speak to us. We are, investigators of a sort.
He just looks at the three of you. Give me a moment, and he like closes the door, goes in, and like a few minutes later, you see him walk in with this lady. Like he opens the door, and you see next to him there's this very sniffy sort of like art student vibes, like very avant-garde, and very like he like sort of has this sort of dull attitude, like who cares, and sort of looks at the three of you, and he says, "Yes, you are investigators."
Yeah, so we're investigating Albert's death.
My father, yes. What about it?
Well, it was all, of course, very tragic. And we want to know about what happened and how it can be prevented in the future.
He just fell overboard after drinking too much, that's it.
Yes, well, perhaps it might be worth investing in some safety rails in the future, but that's not for me to say. Could you tell us a little bit about the evening before your father's passing? For example, what time do you believe that he went to bed? What time did you go to bed?
I'm sorry, who was asking you to investigate my father's death?
Oh, we're working on behalf of the police.
Sheriff? Yes.
I must ask, what is that butler's postal address? I feel like we would get along very well.
He's like, this is where I live. And David the guy sort of takes a moment and he says, "All right, come in, follow me." And he takes you to a living room. So my name is David Krause. I guess it's a little difficult to believe that Albert just died like that, but that's what happened. I mean, he wasn't the smartest to.
Okay, well, what if you had to guess, if you suspected that anyone was angry with your father, who would you think it was?
It was just family on the yacht.
And family doesn't get angry with each other, come now.
Well, sure, we get angry, but we won't be pushing the head of the family down the yacht.
You never suggested that. How come you suddenly came to that conclusion?
Maybe his falling wasn't the intended result. Maybe that was an unfortunate accident as a result of something a little less aggressive.
Do you have any proof for all this stuff that you're saying?
Well, I don't think we're at liberty to discuss that at this stage. However,
you've been discussing it pretty fine up to now.
Yes, well, you know, as official representatives, we are, of course, bound by some of the rules of the police department protocol. You understand. How much did you say that your father had to drink the night of the tragic accident?
I didn't sit next to him and count each glass that he took.
Oh, roughly, you know. There's a difference between someone who's had 6 glasses of wine and someone who's had 2.
Maybe it was somewhere in the middle then.
Okay, so he definitely wasn't his completely sober self.
I guess. I don't.
Did your father have drink that much often? Did he have a tolerance for alcohol?
He drank a lot of it. I wouldn't say he was an alcoholic, but in social events, yes, he drank quite a bit. Not
Okay.
not enough to get intoxicated to that level. I
Of
guess
course,
he felt
of course.
freer because he was with family.
Of course, he was comfortable with family. There were some reports of an argument on the deck. Would you happen to know anything about that? And Muriel is just like watching to see if there is a reaction.
Can you make a presence roll?
Oh, probably not, because
Oh,
I'm
no.
real bad at that. Okay, that is an 8.
So as you ask that, he kind of looks at you. Argument. Yeah, I mean, I was arguing with my sister Emily, and later I was arguing with my father. Just stupid stuff about not being treated equally on the yacht. What about it?
And Opal is gonna look at their companions and try to gauge if they think anything should be mentioned about the stock papers. Because Opal wants to know what they know about their father's investments.
What was your father's job?
You're a businessman, I guess. You can say that.
Businessman? What type of business? Did it have a company name? We trademark, you know?
Clothes. House collection.
His collection. Would we have heard of that, or?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And what did it do? What did the business do? I'm just very curious.
I am not a business person. I am an artist. Ask me about art and I can tell you. If you want to talk business, you can talk to Emily. Sarah and I, the two elders, decided we don't want the business, so it's going to go to Emily now anyway. If you want to talk about that, you can talk about that with her.
Thank you for that information.
Are they here?
Yes. And he sort of looks at each of you and says, if you're done with me, I can send her in.
Sure.
And he goes back up, and like a few minutes later, he comes down with this very young-looking, girl who's maybe 19 or 20, and she's wearing these thick glasses, and she's like holding a Game Boy in her hand, and she looks very annoyed. And what is it?
Bless you.
Thank you. How old is she?
Like 19 or 20.
With a Game Boy?
Yeah.
Vintage.
Retro.
Okay. And this is Emily, right?
Yeah.
What about Sarah? Did Sarah come too, or just Emily?
No, so I'll say Sarah is there as well. You see this older lady behind Emily, and she's not completely entering the room because she's got like a baby in her arms. So she's sort of like seeing what's going on, sort of, and that's why she's there rather than to join in. And she eventually goes into like the other room.
Okay. How long has it been since their dad died?
This, I would say that it happened the night before the sheriff came. So this is like if I think this is like
Day 2 of
2-3 days,
Mavens.
2-3 days before that. Yeah.
And she's just chilling on her Game Boy.
Yeah.
All right. Opal clocks this, and they're like, so no love lost between you and your dad, huh?
What do you mean?
I mean, when my dad died, I was bawling for the first 3 days, and here you are playing your Game Boy.
Oh, I didn't know like there was a protocol that I have to call for 3 days once my dad
Oh, of
died.
course not. It's
I
just
thought
that
I could do what I wanted and process
People-
that grief however I wanted.
this is
People-
just not a way I've ever seen anyone grieve.
I understand.
Well,
People
then you're
grieve in
seeing
different
someone
ways.
now.
She's probably playing on her little iMac thing because it's just, you know, she wants to be distracted from everything that's happening, right? It's a very stressful situation. You know, what with
She seems like very
everything-
defensive at this point.
Angry defensive or offended defensive?
Why not both?
True.
I'd say like very like on edge, kind of like she's being attacked. Like someone pointed something wrong and she doesn't agree with that.
Okay.
Okay, Chip. Look, less with the attitude. We're only here to talk. You don't need to get aggressive at the moment. I swear, this family. First had the brother shouting at us for no reason. Now this. No respect for elders these days. I'm just saying.
Just like stares at you like what? Okay.
What were you fighting with your siblings about the other night? On the
She turns to look at David and like then turns back at you and says, "We're siblings, we fight."
Of course, but there's usually something that sparks it.
He was fighting with our father. Why don't you ask him things?
Well, we did. We were just curious why you seem to think your father died so much earlier than he did.
No, that's later.
Later?
She said it was later.
Okay. Well then, that one.
I just gave a time. They were asking for his things about him, and I just said what came to my mind, what seemed true.
So they asked you when you thought he died, and you picked a random time?
Not a random time.
Then why 4 o'clock?
Because I felt that he was in his room, and then he went outside for a quick look in the morning. Maybe he was still inebriated and he fell.
Okay, so didn't you say you didn't see him? So how did you know he went outside or he's inebriated?
I assumed that.
Fair.
I mean, I fought with David because he wanted me to pay attention to the family.
Okay.
And I just wanted to answer my DMs and talk to my friends, and he didn't want that.
No one understands us people like that, isn't it? It's disgraceful. You just want privacy, you know.
Yeah, you really understand what I'm going through.
Spicy.
This girl. Okay. I feel there's tension here.
Just a little bit.
She just stares at you and like shrugs.
She what?
She like shrugs at her.
Oh.
Puberty, I know my daughter
Alright,
was the
well-
same.
What about your older sister?
She's always busy with her baby.
That seems valid. Babies
Yes.
require a lot of attention.
Yeah, okay.
Who was up the latest? Who stayed awake the latest?
Me, I guess.
And you didn't hear anything unusual or loud?
I was in my room. I didn't hear anything.
Well, surely if you were on a yak and there was a party going on, you would have heard something. Maybe you just pass it off as something. Like a seagull falling into the window or something.
You know those seagulls.
Those super Windexed portholes.
Exactly.
She kind of rolls her eyes at you all and goes back to playing right in front of you.
Okay.
So, do you like proceed to Sarah? She's basically gone into the other room.
Yeah, Opal will poke their head in and just kind of, hey, big sister, if you have a few moments.
She's like in the process of putting the baby down to sleep, and she kind of shishes you and then walks the entrance, the doorstep, and she closes it behind her and says, yes.
That's such a wee doe. What's the wee babies? They're so cute. I saw them switch their cheeks.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was asking what your baby's name is and think it's very cute.
The baby's name,
Yes.
Patty.
It's lovely and very strong.
So, yeah, but she's there in front of you. What do you want?
Was she the one that David said knows more about the business, or?
No, that's Emily.
Oh,
Not that she knows more about the business, more like Sarah and David don't want it.
And Emily's fine with taking it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoops.
Emily is the weirdest murder suspect, but okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, who wants to ask the big sister stuff?
I mean, I will ask, but I don't know what we will discover.
Yeah.
We were looking at things earlier today. It seems that the disagreements between the siblings and you all being treated equally, was there some concern about how money or, say, investments might be distributed in the future?
Wills are messy.
Oh, no, everything's fine. Nothing like that.
Can we tell if she's lying or trying to hide something?
Yeah.
Can you make a reason roll?
Okay.
So it's 2d6 plus your
2d6.
reason modifier.
That is a 9.
She looks a little nervous when she's answering the question.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that the more money people have, and the more there tends to be resentment and, well, just sadness over things not being fair.
Yes, but there was nothing like that in our house.
So you lot were just the exception to a very common phenomenon.
I guess.
This family is
How
so
lucky
strange.
for you.
Sort of nods. David told me that you're investigating my father's death. As far as we know, it was just him going overboard, and unluckily, no one was there to stop or pull him out.
Well, and Opal again looks at the group like, do we want to show our hand, or...
I think Muriel nods. I don't know that Muriel knows what Sarah has to offer, so, like, why not, right?
Right.
Yeah. The only thing I get is that she's nervous, but then we're 3 random women going into the house, so...
Right. We found something in your father's pants. And I think you're holding on to it, right, Muriel?
Yes, I have it.
You show okay. You show this like really soggy, right now dry sort of paper that's slowly coming apart. You see her sort of look at it.
Did you know about any of this?
About what? What is
these investments?
The business.
I don't really know what that is. I'm sorry. I can't help you there.
Well, he had them hidden in his pant leg. That would tell me that they were important to him, and maybe he was afraid of...
I don't think my dad kept things in his pant leg if they were important to him.
Well, that's where we found it, so I don't know what to tell you. They were there.
Okay. I don't... What are you saying? What about this?
Well, I'm just wondering why your father would hide investments from you. Or if someone else maybe made these and tried to make it look like he was hiding them. I don't know why someone would do that, though. I find it much more likely and believable that he was hiding them from you all.
In his pant leg?
Maybe it was the only place he knew for sure no one would find it while you were on the yacht. Luggage and bedside drawers and all that kind of stuff can be rummaged through, but if it's on his person, no one can find it.
Okay.
Unless, of course, he's pushed off a boat.
Make a presence roll.
Ooh, a what?
Presence. You can take advantage.
Oh, I thought you said threaten. I was like, whoa.
No, presence roll.
Getting spicy. Presence, okay. That is an 11.
11. You see that she's looking quite... she's growing more and more sort of insecure and nervous. And she's like looking at the document and back at you, like her eyes keep moving between the 3 of you and the documents. She looks a little cornered.
Look, you have a baby to worry about. If there's anything you know, you should probably tell us.
I wanted these dogs for my husband. Basically, I wanted my father to give my husband stocks. These must be it, but I don't know why they are in his pant leg.
So you wanted your father to give your husband these exact stocks, and he had them hidden. So he didn't want to give these to your husband.
Why?
Does he have reason not to trust your husband? Do they get along?
Yes, of course.
Did he agree to give the stocks, or were you still trying to convince him to do it?
I don't know if these are the exact stocks, but I had been asking him to do that. I don't know if he did wanted to surprise us or what it was.
Do you know
your
what type
husband
of
on the
stock
yacht?
it was?
Sorry? Bria?
Oh, no, never mind.
Opal?
Oh, Opal was asking if her husband was on the yacht that night.
Yes, it was a family trip.
Where is he now?
Back home.
Is this not their home?
This is the Krauss house, but it's not like Sarah is married and lives somewhere else.
They have a separate house. Okay.
Opal looks at their companions and they're like, is that our next stop? Are we just going to forgo the yacht altogether? Because it kind of sounds like there was some tension there, maybe.
This whole family's weird.
We say in front of the family.
Yeah.
I think Muriel is kind of like has been taking notes in a little notebook, and just kind of like makes a perplexed face. Is just like, well, you've certainly given us some stuff to look into. It seems that your family's history is very fraught.
She just like looks at you. She's like processing basically what happened.
Perhaps we will go take a look at the yacht and see if there's anything notable there. Do you have anything else that you would like us to look into or tell us?
You're asking Sarah?
Yes.
No, I'm not sure what to think.
That's understandable.
Very true. It was lovely meeting you, Sarah.
He just looks at like the sudden mood change. What? Okay.
Look after that wee one. We have other business things to do. Mystery stuff.
Can we get the address that your husband would be at? We might stop by there after we go to the yacht.
She gives you the address.
Thank you very much. And Opal will also give her a Werther's.
So you move to the yacht next?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I would say, Opal, as you step aboard the yacht, what do you see that indicates these people have more money than they know what to do with?
Well, the wood of the deck is extremely fine wood. Briar doesn't know what fine woods are, so I'm not going to name one, but just very, like, polished. You can tell it's real wood. And there's, like, on the bridge, you know, they have, like, a big screen TV above the window looking out, you know, just ridiculous. There's, like, a billiards table. There's just all kinds of old-timey, kind of casino-ish entertainment on this yacht for no reason.
I too know nothing about wood, but mahogany sounds fancy, so
It does sound fancy.
Mahogany.
Fine wood.
I think let's take a break here,
Okay.
and then we'll come back to it.
Cool.
Break time.
Hey, welcome back to
Hello.
Brindlewood Bay. Yeah, so when we left off, we were going to the art. I'm guessing we're at the art now. So as you you step on the yard and see this opulence and everything.
Monte Carlo. Yeah.
There are people cleaning the yard, like people like thoroughly scrubbing and doing deep clean sort of situation.
They're getting rid of the evidence.
I mean, yeah. Before they do so, I would like to go talk to the people cleaning the yacht about what they've found so far. And I think that the way Muriel does that is she just sidles up. She kind of look over her shoulder and like make a significant like gesture at to her friends, and then kind of say, "Oh, I've just found that it's so difficult to get stains like that out of boats. It's just
that
red
boat
wine
material.
and cleaning powder.
Um,
A bit of soap, a wee bit of bleach.
are you
Perfect.
saying that to someone in particular?
I think the person who appears to be scrubbing the hardest is who she kind of heads towards.
So you see, like there are about 4 people in different parts of the yard, not necessarily where you are. One of them, I would say, is scrubbing the floors. And you all are at the deck, basically. So you see this person scrubbing the floors, and he looks at you and he says, "Do you want any cleaning done for your yard?"
Oh no, my yacht is in perfect condition. Thank you so much.
Cut to your yacht being in your imagination.
My imaginary yacht. We are doing a sort of investigation of sorts, and I was wondering if you had found anything interesting on this yacht. I know that, of course, you have probably some kind of deal with the family, but they are very supportive of us finding the out what happened here.
You've just come here to clean. So
Question: are you part of a union? Do you have workers' rights? Just so you know.
we just here to clean. That's it.
It's a very good job. Just make sure you know your rights.
Okay. And like he sort of goes back to his cleaning.
Okay. You try and help people.
There is like the yard looks pretty clean, and like sort of like they're overdoing it, kind of, where there's not that much any dust or any signs of something needs to be cleaned up. More like they're just doing a routine clean kind of thing to the yard that's already clean.
Have you seen anything strange in your cleaning duties? Just in particular hard stains to get out?
No such thing. We've been cleaning this yard for 3 days, though, and I'm very tired of it. Can't wait to.
Do you get breaks?
Yes, but we've cleaned it every day for the past 3 days.
You were very committed to the cleaning art.
It's not that. We are told to clean it every day.
By who?
Jerry Krause.
Which Kraus?
Jerry Krause.
Who is that?
Some guy.
Some guy. We weren't told about a Jerry Krause, were we?
No.
Uh-huh.
Jerry Krause Sarah's husband? I don't know. We never met the man.
Maybe.
Well, wasn't
She
she
didn't
was she a
mention-
sibling, right?
Oh,
It
right,
wouldn't
yeah,
be, the
yeah,
last
that
name
would
wouldn't
work.
be Krause.
Hey,
Oh, that's true.
progressing, they maybe kept the name. You know, maybe the
That's-
man took the woman's name, you know?
You never know. Or maybe
could be.
Jerry is short for Geraldine and it's the mom.
Did I find anything in the notes in the file about? Because I made like a witness list. Was there
Mhm.
anything about a Jerry in the book or the folder, case file, whatever?
You've seen the list of the suspects. There's Jerry Krause, who's like the matriarch, sort of Albert's wife. And there's
Oh,
Sarah. Sarah is the oldest. Then there's David. And then there's Emily. And also
Okay.
the butler Andrew is mentioned.
okay. So it is Albert's wife, Jerry.
Mhm.
Okay.
Have you worked with Jerry often?
No, we just got told that we have to clean this, and it's very important for Jerry Krause.
Just as important. You're getting paid for this, right?
Yes.
Just need to make sure.
So he sort of goes back to his cleaning, and as you are, like as I said, like it seems like this yacht has been cleaned many times over. So like you can take a round around the yacht, but you can't really find any such suspicious stains or any those sort of things, because everything's like put their place and kept very clean.
It's very clean. Could we like look around to see, even though it is very clean, is there any things that could have been missed or something?
You do see like eventually like someone comes out from beneath and sees the three of you and like looks a little confused. He's dressed in a pinstripe suit, and like he looks a little like the jacket of the suit is not there. He is just wearing the shirt and the pants, and the shirt seems, a little like his appearance is a bit like disheveled, and there's a smell coming from his as if he hasn't had a bath for some time. And like you wave at him, and he walks up to the three of you. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Are you Jerry?
No, that's Albert's wife.
Aha! Who are you then?
Joyce and Michaels. Joyce
Something-
and Michaels.
Okay, Michael. Why are you here? You look worse for the wear.
Oh, why are you here? You don't look like you belong here.
Excuse
Neither
me.
do you, but we're here to investigate. What are you here to do? Cover up evidence?
What? What do you mean?
We're here to investigate what happened to poor Albert. May he rest in peace.
Who sent you?
You look confused.
I know what. There's a rule: we do not reveal our sources.
Are you on the right yacht?
This is my wife's family yacht.
Oh, you must be Sarah's husband.
Wait, have you met my wife?
If she's Sarah.
Yes.
Congratulations on the baby.
Yes, the baby is very adorable.
All right. You've seen my kid.
We were just visiting the house, the
Having a
Kraus
cup of
house.
tea. Yeah, we're having a cup of tea.
Oh, okay. What is it?
Are you all right?
I'm fine. I've been here taking care of this yard. I need to go home, sleep, shower.
Mm-hmm.
Do you run the yacht, or he's...
I'm just taking care of it because there's no one else to do that.
Opal stage whispers to their friends and says, "Looks like he's been taking care of the alcohol too."
I didn't want to say, but...
Do you say loud enough for him to hear that?
Yeah, it's a very bad whisper. Intentionally.
He sort of looks tired and he says, yeah, sure. I mean, of course.
Just says yeah. Oh my god.
He's hungover then.
Yeah, he's messed up. Were you close with your father-in-law? You seem troubled.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I was very close. Listen, I have to take care of this yacht and then I could go home, I think, tonight. So, yes, if there's no more business here, and he sort of gestures for you all to leave.
Question, do you have a union?
What union?
You always have a union if you're working for someone. Very important.
He looks like very confused.
He's rich. He doesn't need a union.
He'll just hire a lawyer.
Cute kitty. Sorry.
Cat. I'm contractually obligated to say cat.
So he sort of says, if you have nothing else to do, then you can go.
We were wondering if we could maybe see where he fell off, if that's possible.
We're here for the guided tour.
And maybe if we could look in his quarters. We found some interesting documents on the body, and I was just wondering if there was anything referencing them in his room, perhaps, in a desk if he has one.
I don't know anything about any of this.
Maybe the contents of his desk would.
Sure. And he sort of leads you to, nonchalantly sort of leads you to the room and just goes away from there.
Opal is too stubborn for their own good.
He's like,
He
I
was
can't
very
do
rude.
So what exactly are you doing?
Can we try following this guy?
You what? Oh, I
We
wanted
should
to
follow the
see
guy.
if... Yeah, maybe one of us should.
I follow the guy.
I wanted to see if there was anything referencing any kind of investments, like in his desk, any ledgers, any maybe the checkbook pages or whatever, where it shows check numbers that are written, or if he has an appointment book or something.
Roll reason for me.
Reason? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I think I have a +2 to that.
Can I help also? I'm a librarian. I'm good at finding.
True.
Yeah,
Our
you can
resident
take
cataloger.
an additional die.
Yes. Thank goodness. That is only a 9, but that is better than what I would have gotten.
I like your cat staring intently at the dice.
She wants to eat them.
Yeah. They look tasty.
So with a 9, I'll say you try to look around, you don't really find anything. Most of it is sort of scrubbed clean. It's kind of like bare bones of a room where there's the bed sheets and the coat hanger and stuff like that.
Okay, so nothing indicating.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody stayed there. Yeah.
Okay. Opal is not happy with this result, but...
Meanwhile, Brea, do you talk to him or do you just are you...
Oh no, she was just discussing workers' rights. I found to make sure.
So you're just eating his head with that.
Yeah.
Okay. I say that takes place for like the next 10 minutes. So what are you all doing? I will say, like, if you feel like you've kind of come across a solution or something, you can use the theorize move, where you can have a discussion and try to put all the clues together and see what that comes out with.
Okay, how would that work?
Basically, have a discussion between the three of you. You, as like all the clues, I'm going to just put them in the Discord chat and just see like how do they match up. Are you able to make a deduction and find out a person, like who the person is from that discussion?
Okay.
You can have that discussion, or if you want to look for more clues, you can.
Yeah, I think, well, I can't hold that much information in my head, so I'll need to see like the clues.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can chat about what we've found so far.
So we have the stalks, which we know that Sarah wanted. Or rather, Sarah's husband wanted, but Sarah asked on his behalf. The watch that was set to 4 instead of 2, which was when Emily had said that her father died. So presumably someone reset his watch. Is that what we're... Or...
Yeah, I'm not really...
says that he died at 2, right? That's...
Right.
I put up the clues.
Oh.
In the Discord chat. Okay. So take a look at them.
Yeah, so misreported detail about the time of the death. Wristwatch set to the wrong time, which connects to the time of death. Stock certificates, the piles of receipts for extravagant purchases, and the argument between David and Emily on the deck about being more present. Do we know who bought the extravagant purchases? Did we ever look into that?
No, and I was wondering if either that would be Emily, like, or if that would be maybe Michael jumped the gun somehow because of the stocks, or...
What if Geraldine did they were bought for her or something?
If they were bought for who? Oh, Geraldine?
It could be anybody, but is there a name on the receipts with the...
I'll say, yeah, it's Michael.
Okay. He thought he was gonna be rich.
Yeah.
Made all these purchases, and then maybe the dad didn't want to give up the stocks after all. Because he saw the reckless purchases.
Yeah, maybe he was like, if you're spending this money on frivolous things, then I'm not going to bail you out.
Right, like you have a baby. If I give you these stocks, and that's how you treat the money you do have.
Like, Sarah's husband was called Michael?
Yeah. So, like, maybe Emily's just a brat. And
yeah. Well, she has her newfangled computer device that she's playing on.
The wee little screen thing.
Yeah. The Walkman.
Walkman. The game. Name. So, Michael's 3D birthday. Restaurant set to the wrong time. Stop forgets in the palm leg.
So far, my money is a little more heavily on Michael.
Yeah, I'd say they were having an agreement over it or argument over it that maybe involved David and Emily or something.
Yeah, it could have been. Maybe David and Emily somehow found the receipts, and they were actually arguing over whether to tell Sarah or the dad or who knows what.
Sarah seemed most nervous, right, when we were talking.
Yeah. Maybe she knows it was her husband. Maybe she doesn't quite know why.
Maybe she did it with her husband.
Maybe.
They have a baby. Things get expensive, you know.
I hear that. I hear those babies are expensive.
Yeah, something like that.
You know, my cousin's granddaughter, she bought a car seat for her baby, and it was like $750. Can you believe that's so many dollars?
The heck?
So much money for a seat?
And they expire.
Mm-hmm.
You just get some good old-fashioned makeup.
Safety stuff changes, babies grow out of it.
Sellotape it together, you put some cushions there, that's perfect. I know, I didn't spend that much on my children.
You have to account for inflation, Brea.
It's true.
Inflation's you figure out your way.
As the baby grows and inflates, things become more expensive.
That too.
It's like you're blowing up a full human slowly. I'm not a parent, as you can tell. I'm just, you know, that's what it seems like to me.
So, are we betting on Michael?
I think Michael is our best guess at present.
Yeah, I think at the moment it's all circumstantial evidence for real. We don't have any proof of like.
Well,
something.
I think circumstantial is all we're gonna get too as non-cops.
Yeah, we're not gonna get a toxicology report. I feel like.
I bet we could convince the sheriff to let us look at it.
All right. Well, so how does the theorize move work then? Do we roll something?
One of you can take the roll. Basically, roll 2d6 and add 5 to it, which is the number of clues you have.
Oh, I heard dice. I heard it.
Dice noises.
I got a 12.
Brea, as you're sort of walking with Michael's and you're telling him about unions and stuff.
Excellent.
I'll say that he sort of tries to lose you. And you both are sort of going towards the room. Yeah, and like Brea's just following, and he eventually like thinks he's hidden from you, and that he's escaped this spiel about the union. And then he calls up Sarah, and he says, "What are these 3 old ladies doing?" Like he basically has a conversation where he reveals what he's done. This is what you all theorize, and that's you hear him have that conversation.
Excellent.
What's he say?
So he's basically talking to Sarah about the complication of these 3 old ladies coming to the yacht, and when he's trying to get rid of everything.
Very intriguing.
Daddy.
Little book. She gets like runs over like a wee excited child to her friends. I just find out something. Great gossip. Okay, so I was discussing workers' rights. So guys, every manager should know these. Every employer should know. You know, it makes sense. You gotta treat your workers right. And so eventually he tried to escape me. Human rights are not easy to escape. Anyway, so he was talking when he went into his room, and he started talking to Sarah. And then he started to complain about us. But then he said that he's trying to clean up everything because we're annoying him, trying to get rid of evidence.
So you were trying to get a murderer to unionize, is what you're saying.
Well, unions is important.
I don't know that we want... I mean, I guess maybe having all the murderers hang out together would mean... I'm not sure about the efficacy of this as a long-term.
I've
plan.
seen those
At this
Criminal
point, I
Minds
didn't know he was a
episodes, okay?
murderer. I just wanted to make sure he treats his employees right. Well, now we know.
Well, he didn't murder his employees. He murdered his father-in-law.
Details.
Well,
but yes, that's what I heard.
Well, that does seem pretty definitive. It seems at least that Sarah knows, which is a shame because, you know, accessory. But if you don't want to be an accessory to murder, you probably shouldn't kill people. So there's that.
Oh, that baby.
That poor child.
Sad face.
Should we adopt the child? I think we'd be better parents.
I feel like... I think at this stage, that's maybe a little premature. I don't think they take, like, dibs when parents go to jail. Usually there will be some sort of process. Maybe there's a nice cousin. Maybe Jerry's not terrible. We haven't met Jerry. Jerry could be very nice.
That's true. We haven't met Jerry.
Hopefully Jerry is very nice.
Let's put it as a plan D. Just in case.
Sure. Let's put it as plan, like, W.
Excellent.
Whoops, murder.
Very original, Muriel. Well done.
You know, people always use the first few letters of the alphabet, but you've got to give the ones at the end a chance.
Exactly.
That's
You're
what
right.
I say.
Agree.
Reading is fundamental.
So do we feel like we can tell the sheriff this information? Do you think he'll buy it from some old biddies?
Well, he did ask us to do it, and we have all of this evidence.
It's true.
And if we need a confession, I could get my brother Benny to do it for him. He does it with a lot of people. Apparently they get into arguments.
Oh. All right. Well, that's an option.
It is certainly an option, but let's see how our dear darling sheriff takes it.
That they have parties.
The sheriff sort of takes in the clues and the eyewitness account that Brea provides. And he manages to, like, he speaks to the family, the Krause family with Jerry and all of them, David and Emily. And he gets, like, once they know how they did it and why they did it and everything, they're able to find more evidence about it. And he thanks all of you for solving the mystery, sort of very reluctantly, because he did say he just wanted you to find evidence and that's it. But he sort of thanks you anyway, and you all get, like, medals from the mayor.
Ooh,
yes, this is why we don't do things halfway, Mr. Sheriff.
You should get the promotion you so deserve. Such a good young man.
So I think, yeah, that's the end for our Brindlewood Bay game. I would say everybody start talking about your social media and stuff like that, like promos, basically. Muriel.
Me. That's me. Sorry, I'm not used to responding to that name. Hi, I have been Muriel and also Jilly. My pronouns are she, her, as are Muriel's, and I can be found at sorry, we're doing like the who I am, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing. Okay. I'm just not making sure I'm not supposed to be talking about Muriel right now instead of me.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot.
Because for the record, Muriel is like insufferable about having gotten this medal.
Excellent.
She like takes it to show Carol. Yeah, it goes like waves it in Carol's face at least twice a week. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at @OLucasJilly. Jilly is spelled with a G, where I have links to everything else. I am an actor and a writer-editor. A lot of copy editing and developmental editing, especially for TTRPGs, but also in academics. You can also find me talking about Shakespeare and a lot of other things because I am doing Taming of the Shrew this summer. So it's a good time. So, things that are coming up on Thursdays, you can find me on Sword and Keys Twitch channel playing Invisible Sun for the next few weeks. We are wrapping up our Fraying Threads campaign where I play Lace, who is a weaver who splinters into fragments. That's her whole thing. It's a very cool system and a very cool game. You can also find me this weekend on Nerds with Dice, where I will be running a game of Dialect as a game for their Pride celebration. And Dialect is a game, the tagline is a game about language and how it dies. So it's a really cool linguistics-based game that I'm a real big fan of. So that is happening on Sunday morning, and you can find more information on my Twitter. At the end of the month, I will also be on Exquisite Corpse's channel for their Pride celebrations. I will be at the Oops All Bisexuals table, and I'm trying to work out if I'm allowed to announce what we're playing, and I'm not certain that I am, so I'm not gonna, but it's gonna be really fun. And I can say we're doing something a little bit spacey, so that's pretty cool. And then this summer, I will also be on a mini-series on Girls Run These Worlds, which I don't think we have announced yet, so I am not going to say what it is, but it's fun. That's me. Brian, you next.
Me. Yeah. So I am on Twitch at twitch.tv/itsmebriar. And I also am... Hey, look at that. It almost did my URL in the captions. That's cute. You can find me on Twitter as well at itsmebriar. And that's where like most of my promotional announcements will be. I try to remember to put it on Instagram, but so this month and for a period of 6 months that I don't remember exactly the start and end time of, I'm an It Gets Better project partner. So all this month, all of my streams are charity streams for the It Gets Better project. But I also have lots of TTRPG stuff happening. So tomorrow at 8 Eastern and the 14th at 8 Eastern, I'll be over on the Roll D5 channel. Tomorrow I'll be playing Selena, the Wicked Witch of West LA, who is a cat in Bodega Cats. And then the 14th we're doing Big Gay Orcs. I'm very excited about that. And then I also will be playing in one, I believe it's a Radiant Citadel adventure. I can't remember the name of it. But I'll be playing that over on a friend's channel on the 16th, 20th, and 30th. So I'm everywhere playing all of the TTRPGs. I'm very excited about it. This is the most, I've just called it TTRP June because that's all I'm doing this month. I have my own The Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign that I run most Wednesdays on my channel. So that won't be till the 21st and 28th though, since I have the other two that I'm doing in that normal time slot. But yeah, if it's TTRPG or Elder Scrolls, I'm probably playing it. So that's that.
With me,
Is he?
Okay, I don't have anything like that. I'm not very active in social media. I will try to, but I have an Instagram. Like I do have like a journalism degree, so like I want to try and do more with that. I have an Instagram called Bernadette's_journo. You can look at it. I don't have anything on it yet, but I want to try and get stuff posted, hopefully the next few months or so. I have Twitter, BeConley405. Again, there's nothing on it, but I do want to try and get stuff on it. I'm gonna, if you're in like I'm from Northern Ireland and I'm in Belfast right now, and there's a thing called QCon on Belfast in June. I'll be there. I'll be cosplaying. I won't be doing anything special, but if you want to say hi, so I sort of just I only started playing like TTRPGs like the last 3 years and trying to get into doing like more, trying new systems, trying streaming things like this. So I'm very babyish and new to all it. So yeah.
What are you cosplaying? I want to know what you're cosplaying.
I have 2 cosplay ideas. They're very low budget because I'm not rich. One is like, no one's probably heard of it, but it's like this anime series called Mech City Actors. It's based off a Vocaloid series called Kai Pro, and there's a character in it called Kiddo. Just Google her, she's class. Dressing up as her, and it's a great show. Great vocals, very good. And then the other is going to low budget Clementine, and the second day, very low budget. So I'll be there.
Low budget cosplay is its own art form.
It is really
very impressed.
The things people are able to come up with is just wild.
I am trying to write more stuff and like write like a campaign and stuff like that. I'm trying to get myself into this world. I'm just starting out, so it's fun to do this, and I want to try and get into doing more of these things. That's my social media. I do have a Twitch, but I have nothing on it either. But
okay, I have a Twitch, but I just appear on other people's Twitches. That's what I do.
I would love to be in more streams and Twitches and stuff. I'm going to look to more opportunities. The Twitch is called Bumblebee the Great, so there's that. That's about it. I'm sorry, I'm boring compared to these others.
No, it's very seasonal. Trust me.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, and I'm alive, and that's enough. So that's the end of our stream. I hope everybody has fun playing it, and yeah. Bye.
It was really fun. Thank you very much for letting me
thanks
come
for
on. It was really fun.
It was such a cute game.
It was really cute.